This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your solo. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time.
That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, Lara, Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Justine Bow, great day, Braylon. I still view the Never Ever Mets. Thanks to your suggestion, season 1. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you to say. We did a lot of good together with that. Yes, we did. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Braylon Lee is here along with Gigi. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Y'all, we're live on tour, so anything can happen. Give us a moment here. But yes, indeed, welcome in, everybody, to another edition of the Never Ever Mets. We were supposed to do this yesterday night, but of course, as y'all know, the Keke and confessionals came about and had to be about the assignment. But we are here now. Gigi, I see her mic is open. So Gigi, are you good? Okay, well, while Gigi gets herself together here, higher is weighing, lows available, but either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see the virtual tour background, you hear the virtual tour music rather than there is me and Gigi. We usually do this kind of podcast style because it allows us to be our best selves. But of course, if we need to give a facial reaction, we will definitely be there to give y'all that for sure. Gigi, let me know when you're ready, if you can hear me. Y'all, this is episode 3. Woo, my Lord Jesus, a lot went down in this episode. Okay, Gigi will be back up here in a second. Yes, indeed, here. Let's see. Hey, Cynthia Williams, good to see you. I hope all is well with you. Yes, and happy Easter and Passover to everybody. Hopefully you had a wonderful church service. For those of you who got out at 11, congratulations to you. For those of you who are about to get out in 2 more hours at 8 o'clock, happy Easter to you. I kid. Y'all know if y'all go to a full gospel Baptist church or Church of God in Christ, I got one more thing to tell you. Now I got 5 more things to tell you. Lord Jesus. GG. Yes, indeed. 5 people in the building here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, while Gigi gets herself together here, let's get into the episode here because we're child. A lot went on. So we kick it off with Alicia and Irvin here. Let me get Alicia and Irvin here up for us. Man, a lot went down. Let's see here. I'm going to get. Here we go. Open image, a new tab. Share screen. All right, here we go. So Alicia and Irvin, right? So it picks up from the last episode. Now, for those of you who do not know, Alicia has an autoimmune disease that has had to make a reset with everything in life, right? And make her be still. And Irvin is a gentleman and a scholar, as that phrase has been told to me many times here in the North. And so, Alicia said that I feel uncomfortable with your energy, which really wasn't even the case because Irvin was not doing anything crazy to Alicia. Gigi, can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, my friend. Welcome in.
Listen, having technical difficulties, and
because I was saying hello in the background, just like, Lord Jesus, Lord. Why?
Yeah, my computer was not trying to compute right now, so I'm on my phone. It's okay. We're gonna work it out.
It is all good. Let me tell y'all something. As content creators, to y'all that are the subscribers, if you look at a content creator, you say it looks easy, that means we're doing our jobs. Because we are a one man, one woman, one individual band. We are the control room. We are the host. We are the executive producer. We are the network executive. We're the camera people. We're the lighting people. We're the audio people. We everything, damn it. So believe me, we got 2 control rooms going on both coasts, but all good in the neighborhood. You haven't missed much, Gigi. Just getting started here with Alicia and Irvin. Picks up right from the last episode, and Alicia went downstairs to want to talk to Irvin, and she wants Irvin to go to her room. While Gigi gets herself together, like I said, it's live, y'all, so we're trying to get all the mics together here. Hang on 1 second. The StreamYard does StreamYard. Okay, there we go. Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, mic check. Everything should be okay now. Listen.
Okay. You're good. Like I told them what we are everything as a content creator is, not a team.
Yes, I heard you say that. It definitely is. And listen, happy Easter to everybody who celebrates, Yes. Hope everybody have a good time and you're with your family and eating good.
Yes, and listen, whether you got high off of the spirit or high off of grass, we appreciate you being here. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's my favorite.
We recognize everybody on our show here, you know.
Right.
So I would say to the audience that you haven't mentioned much, GT. Irvin and Alicia picks up right from the last episode, right? And so Alicia, shockingly, takes some initiative and goes downstairs to talk to Irvin and wants to go talk in her room. And then it goes from there. So what did you think about that opening? Because in episode 2, me and you both agreed that Irvin was really the champion in that conversation. It seems like Alicia is, trying to save her ass a little bit here, because before she felt uncomfortable, and like Irvin said, if you feel uncomfortable, or if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, rather than you leave the situation. So why would Alicia go to somebody that she feels uncomfortable with their energy?
So this is what I think about that, because if you notice, not only did she took the initiative to follow him after the mistakes that she had made, but if you listen to what she said in the conversation, it was still her doubling down and putting blame on him. His body language, the way he was speaking, she could tell that things was different, and that's what made her feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all still put back on him and how he did that made her feel that way, which still comes out as him being more respectful, because when she spoke upon being, feeling unsafe, he walked away. Now you go get him just to kind of like double down on what you said. Not that you don't feel safe, but just basically saying, I guess, why you didn't feel safe or what made you feel that way about him. Which, hey, that's, okay, communicate how you feel. That's good. But still, I feel like she should have took some accountability of, her part in it. Like, just a little more.
Right. No, I fully agree with you, Gorgeous, because Alicia says that Irvin's energy, changes into aggressive energy, that he gets pinned up, this, that, and third. Actually, to tell you the truth, it seems like your energy changes, maybe not so much in an aggressive tone, but a guarded tone. Because it seems like Irvin has been more open than you, Alicia. And, Alicia said that, she felt physically and emotionally unsafe, like you so articulately stated. And Alicia and Irvin came to the conclusion that there should be emotional safety for each person. And my thing is this: if it's supposed to be emotional safety for each person, right, then that should have been executed when Irvin first tried to talk to him.
Right. Like, the conversation could have went differently in the start of it. But we have seen that she does not seem too open to the relationship. Now, as we went on in the episode today, it just, seemed like she did come, she opened up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's saying how she can see herself with him, and, she's got to be able to trust him and different things like that. Understandable.
So she's not the Grinch as of yet. Her heart has not grown 3 sizes, but it's in the process.
It's in the process. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's in the process, because I still don't think that she's really, really feeling him like that. But it's good for her to even, I guess, say that she's open to it.
Yeah, she's definitely doing more than Aaron J
and Jody.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Child, that relationship, non-relationship. Let me put some respect on it. Non-relationship, child.
Yeah, because she knew she didn't like him through the computer. I don't even know why.
I mean, Roger and Zap had more computer love, and that was a whole song.
Right? That was just that was emotional to see. Just, it was draining, and the way that he just seemed oblivious to the whole thing. I feel like he wanted to. He just didn't want to look so bad, but that's okay. That's him. But yeah, this she does give more than Jody, which is good, but I still don't feel like she's all the way into him like that. So that's where we come to this whole issue of, is it real or not? Like, are you genuine with what you're saying about seeing yourself with him?
No, facts, absolutely. So then after that, everybody is in the kitchen, taking shots. Everybody! If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Braylon Lee. That's the lovely GG9 there. We use media references here. We put 20 on 10, but we also go beyond the show and give it soul. So yes, and we will be referencing season 1 from time to time. So Jody and Aaron J were a non-couple from season 1, and Aaron J almost had a stepmama by the end of the season. So
right, just yeah.
I'm not sorry.
That was just terrible. How is it that you come on there after dating for a while, which maybe they was only dating for a few months, I think, though. Mm-hmm. But still, you come on there, you have no feelings, no nothing. You don't like him. He doesn't really like you. I mean, he might like her more, but no. But as soon as his daddy came, she was all on it. Like, she had more chemistry with his daddy than him, and that's just terrible. But yeah, Alicia does give Jody vibes. Just at least she's allowing him to touch her or even sit on her bed, because I don't even think she let Aaron J sit on the bed. Because that night when you put some beds together.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, she freaked out.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, but they're all in the kitchen taking shots, though, and of course, it turns to Keke.
Yes, it does. Keke is a fun, and Alexis says this, and I was kind of, well, we'll talk about it. Alexis in her confessional says that, Alexis used to be that girl. She used to be a bartender, and she used to be about that life, and that drove her husband crazy. And to go from episode 2 where she claimed her cream stick cream stick location of Krispy Kreme in the front, and the cinnamon buns from Cinnabon in the back for Chris, the last episode, with no permission, and then to be so vulnerable in that confession. What did you think about that? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm cloaking it for YouTube purposes. Okay, y'all can figure out what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, because I feel like her and Chris are having good conversations, and maybe after the conversation that they had about the fact of how she's controlling, and he feels as though he's got to take the reins or she's going to treat him like a boy. I feel like some of their conversation might have helped, but also it's so easy for people to see, especially once you get older and you've made certain mistakes, you can see and tell, like, hey, that person's going down a wrong path. Like, I've either seen it or been through it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she might have had that, because she is older. She's 45. I think she might be like one of the oldest ones in there. Mm-hmm. So she done seen some things. So she, her speaking on experience, that was great that she was vulnerable enough to do that. Yeah. But also maybe she needs to see also how she's being controlling to Chris. So it's great that she could see that with someone else, but also she needs to look a little inward.
Yeah, it's giving a little Chris and Jody energy. But I will say this, though, at least Alexis has more cognitive awareness, if anything else, and she's reminding me of the other side of it, because you and me covered the first season together, and Diamond was very cutesy, very mindful, very demure, but she could go there. But with Alexis, she has that go there spirit all the time, and it seems like she's never really had a soft place to fall to let go and be free, if that makes sense. So it's like the flip side of Diamond from last season. Because I think Diamond and Aaron H, if I'm not mistaken, was the oldest couple in the house, right?
Right. I'm gonna read a couple comments. So let's see. Ruthiana says, oh goodness. Okay, listen, these are her words. These are not mine. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. That's just as bad as what had happened was. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is this is about Alicia. Okay, like I said, these are not my words. These are commenters' words. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in the words or talking about Alicia, Ruthiana says, I'm so tired of this bitch. She's in her condition as the reason she doesn't want to be touched. Bitch, stay at home with your fucking diet and not your paranoid ass instead of wasting people's time. You don't like him, let him go and be real with it. Like I said, not my words.
I know those are not your words, but I saw that you were trying to gather yourself mentally, because in the back of your head you were like, you know what? Thank you for saying it for me.
Listen, I have to say that in her opinion.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's another one by Khalil.
Okay.
Khalil says, anyone over 35 using dating apps to meet serious long-term partners is going to end up like all these couples, 99.99% of the time. Percent of the people on dating sites and meeting are either hurt, damaged, or straight up catfish. This whole cast looks old and tired.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Again, those are old and tired. Khalil said they are old and tired. So yes, yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to
those commenters. Stood 10 toes down with the chest on those comments. Good Lord Jesus, old and tired.
Listen,
yourself.
There's a certain part that there's a few parts that I want to get to, especially the very, very end with Jared. So I cannot wait to see what the comments say, because there's a lot of them about Jared. I'm just not trying to get to them yet.
I understand.
But so let's go. Yeah, let's try to get through it because I want to talk about it. So they're all in the kitchen. Of course, Keke is, she's having her a nice little time. She's drinking and everybody's taking shots. It's not like she's just drinking by herself. Like the whole house is taking shots. Like everybody is, you know what I'm saying? Having fun. Mm-hmm. But of course, it becomes an issue with Brandon.
Yes,
because he already feels like she might have an alcohol problem. She might be an alcoholic. So I feel like this stirred up things, because not only that, she got a little tipsy and I guess was like kind of almost fell off a chair. She fell asleep on the couch. Right. They're talking about how that's what drunk people do. She's drunk, and that's also what Alexis was talking about, how she knows how people are when they're like that. So Keke's a party girl, so that's what she was saying.
Right.
So that does lead to, of course, her and Brandon talking at some point.
Yes. And then after that, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but do you feel like, and everybody in the chat, do you feel that Keke might have an alcohol problem that she's not admitting, or is
I
Keke
think
just having fun?
I think that Keke is, and we both said this last episode, Keke seems to be a crowd favorite. She seems like a wonderful spirit in the house. But just because you're a fun spirit doesn't mean that you're not using a vice, right? And I do think that she's probably using it more as a vice than having a problem, right? I mean, there's tinges of a problem, but when you think of an alcoholic problem, right, you think of, forgetting things and not showing up on time. It's more of a long-term thing, right? And this show is only shot in 3 weeks, which is 21 days. So 21 days to us doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're on, when you're filming a reality show and you have no cell phone, no books, actually, I'll take that back, because I think the first season, if I'm not mistaken, Gigi, let me know, I think Zendaya was on a laptop, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the scenes, which usually that doesn't happen for reality TV.
I think so, and I also think because they still have to work, so I believe like they did have laptops and stuff like that.
Yeah, because for most reality shows, if you're on Big Brother, Survivor, The Amazing Race, The Bachelor, or any show that requires that much attention, they take your cell phone away, they take books away, journals, because they don't want you to have any way to have an outlet, because they want you to be real. With you being real, they're able to capture it and make it into content or a program for the old school audience. So like I said, I think there's tinges of a problem. And I only say tinges of a problem because this is the first time with me and Keke, right? So I don't know if she's an alcoholic, because alcoholic to me seems like a long-term thing, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does. But also, I mean, even though they're only filming for, like you said, 21 days or so.
Right.
If a person's a true alcoholic, that's enough time to see if they have a problem or not, especially when you're in close confinement with the person for so long.
Right.
It's going to come out. You're going to see it. You're going to be able to tell.
Right.
But also, this is a different experience for everybody.
Correct.
And it could be that she's not an alcoholic, but right now this is her way of coping, or her way of being able to deal with the situation that she's in. She's, on TV, she can have some insecurities about her weight, even though she's, beautiful. She can still have some insecurities. So her being around other people, this could be her way of being able to open up and express herself, or actually be able to, I mean, hate to say it, but enjoy the experience.
Exactly.
Now she's starting to get sloppy and she's falling down the stairs and pissing on herself. Now let's talk
that's
this.
really the problem.
Then that's when Taronda's got to get a whole nother therapist, because there's a problem.
Exactly.
But no, I feel like she's just kind of. It could just be a social thing, because she's, like I said, she's just coping. I don't know.
And I think she even said that a little bit later, not to get ahead. And as we do our after show here, sometimes if it makes sense, we'll bring something from later on to where we are to add context, conjecture, and connection. Because I do think Keke said to, I think it was Brittany, if I'm not mistaken, that she is a fun girl, and that she's a social drinker, and that when her mom passed away, that she did go to the bottom. Now, has she talked about that space of emotionality with Brandon? We don't know. But I did want to bring that into where me and Gigi are right now, along with all of you watching. Like I said, I think Keke is a really good person from what we've seen, so I'm still rooting for her. I think Gigi is too. And Gigi brings up a great point. When you've never been in this type of experience with this type of magnanimous on your mental energy, he or she who has that sink has the first stone. Because what do you do when you go from not being known to being somewhat known? You got cameras in your face, your mic up, your schedule's all out of whack. You got call times. you don't know what's going to happen next until Toronto shows up. So it's a lot of variables that are out of your control. And for maybe somebody who's always in control, reality TV is an experience where, you have to let go of that control. So I agree with you, Gigi. I think it's definitely more of a conduit to cope with what she's going through, because this is not a typical situation where you being the person that you dated virtually for the first time ever. That's never been done on television nor streaming. So.
Right. So moving on, just so that we can get through it.
Yep.
But yeah,
Charli.
absolutely. Absolutely right. I feel like, that's just how it is. So we got Jared and Charli sitting outside. Yeah, listen, now after what he said, and just speaking of it, I said this last week, or maybe it was the week before, I don't remember, but I said you got to listen to him, because he already said that having that many kids is a problem, and he talked about how it was not financially sufficient for him to be in a situation like that. So, but I'm not going to jump ahead. Just want to bring up the fact that it's already been said.
Yep.
So,
and as you can see, they've been dating for 4.5 years, to give context.
4.5 years. Y'all been dating. And he has a 6-month-old child. She has a 1-month-old, plus 2 other kids he didn't know about, which totals 4 kids that she has, because he knew about her oldest, and that was it.
Yep.
So the craziness of that dynamic, and him playing this, which now we know, of course, why he's playing this role that he's playing, knowing that he does not want to be with this woman. It's all to smash, which is crazy. And you see that you said this on camera, we talk about how we wonder, and a lot of times we get the answer because we do interviews with the cast, but
yes, we do.
When you see the replay of this and you're actually watching this and you hear the confessionals, I just want to know what was the first thought when she saw this?
Yeah.
Do they, and we don't know if they've left together or not. At this point, we don't know. We're not going to jump ahead, but still.
Yep.
They're out here talking basically, and to me, after what he said, I feel like their conversations are nonsense.
Agreed.
They're pointless.
Right. So the conversation that they have is, how each person is feeling, rather, about the secret being out. Charli feels cheerful. Out of all words, that's the word you say. Okay. And then Jared is butt naked. Ooh, not as butt naked as your ass is gonna be. We will mention that.
Because that is madness.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's crazy.
So then they talk about, working out the logistics. Charli has a house with 6 rooms in her house, and Jared has a room with 3 rooms in his house. With what happened towards the end, and with Jared feeling the way that he is feeling about Charli's secret, and the way Charli's feeling about Jared's secret, why did this couple make it through casting? Because to me, y'all could have went on Temptation. You know what? Temptation Island is casted for season 2 right now on Netflix. Because I feel like that's the show that y'all needed to go on. It would have been first of all, that actually would have been a better storyline on Temptation Island. Y'all have dated virtually y'all been dating virtually for 4.5 years. Y'all have never met. And both of y'all got a secret that, you know, you got to share before you separate into your villas. And then that could have played out all season on Temptation Island. Because this shit right here. Go ahead, Gigi. I can't.
No, that would definitely be a good show. Or like I said, some of these need to be on Zeus. Just because this is crazy. What? Oh. First off, you got to get past the fact that y'all been virtually dating 4.5 years.
Child.
And not once have you seen each other in person. 4.5 years. Or there's 4.5 years.
I mean, the only other couple that, you know, dated longer was what? Josh and Shay. They've been dating for what, like 12 years or something like that?
Yeah. That was unnecessary.
more unnecessary than living in the same city.
Listen, now that, oh my God, Greg and Millie they irked me. That right there, I'll never get over. How do you virtually date somebody that's in the same city and state as you and you've never been? That is crazy.
Oh my God. And y'all, when we reference season 1 cast without season 1 cast, and Gigi, you know this because you are in the world of film, but also, you know, film and reality TV have a lot of overlap, except one is unscripted and one is scripted. Casting is the foundation to any production, besides the staff, the crew, and the production team. And that cast season 1 was perfect to be able to kickstart this series. So we're saying season 1 couples very fondly, but also too, the season 1 couples did some ish, but it wasn't on the level of this.
The season 1 couples opened up for what we're seeing now with season 2.
Yeah.
Now we will say, I mean, and we've said this plenty of times, Never Ever Met's actually is better than quite a few of the shows that's on OWN.
Child, you ain't never that.
Production has spent time and money on this show, and you can tell.
Without question.
But some of this here,
yeah, this makes season 1 look like a saying.
I told you. Makes season 1 look like patty cake. Because this is, because Jared and Charli talking about, you know, their future and what they have, and Charli's all in. You could tell Charli wants him.
Yeah.
But just move on, because I need to get to the end, because this right here is what let's just move on, because you can't really speak about them anymore without talking about the rest of it.
Exactly. So then we get to this picture here. Let me pull it up here. So we get to this picture right here. That is Keke falling over in a chair. Now, you know, I think last week, I don't know if you said or I said, Gigi, but you know that there are some chairs that are built where it looks like you're falling back, but that's just how the chair is built. So, like, let's give love, grace, and space until we find out. But this is where Brandon's talking about Brandon, Alexis, and Chris are talking about Keke's drinking. And Brandon said that, you know, the drinking is wild. You know how he that's how he's seen it, you know, for Keke. And then they go to a cut of Keke sleeping with a thumb in her mouth. And I'm just like, okay then. But you know, everybody has a mental security blanket, as I often say, right? So that could be a habitual thing from childhood. That's just her way of living, right? And you know, Keke is a fun drunk. Keke wants people to like her. She's a social drinker. I said that earlier, but we're not. This part here, And then Keke is not going to drink anything today. And, Chris said that, when Keke asked him, did she drink too much? Chris didn't say nothing, but then you were sleeping on the couch. So,
which I think there's actually a slide of her sleeping on the couch. It might be the next one.
Let me see there.
But yeah, because she, one, if you look at, first off, okay, so the picture previously was her sitting on these little round black stools right there.
Right here.
Anybody could have easily fell backwards on these.
Yes.
So I don't feel like that's a good reference to her being drunk.
Not at all.
Okay. And then right here, this is her laying on the couch, falling asleep.
Right.
Okay. One, it's late. She's been filming all day. She's tired. And whether she's drunk or not, we don't know. She could be drunk.
And at least she's on the damn couch, because there's worse places to be drunk and not have your faculties, or your faculties to be used potentially. But
it seems like she might know her limit, because she was like, hey, I'm at my limit. I'm going to sleep. Right. So I don't really see, I feel like they're trying to make more out of it, at least. But then again, like I said, maybe Brandon has some trauma with drinking. His, somebody close to him could have been a drinker. So that's something that is a trigger to him. But yeah, as he's sitting there talking to Chris and Alexis, they're talking about her drinking and basically like, you need to talk to her about it. So he gets up and he goes talk to her. He asked her to come outside because she was still in bed sleeping. And you could tell she just wasn't feeling it. She was not feeling that conversation, which, understandable. But in that conversation, she did speak about how, and I think there's a slide for that one too, of them two talking. But she was vulnerable in that moment as well, because he asked her if she had a drinking problem. She says no. But then she also talks about he asked her, has anybody else ever told you this? Right. And she said that she had a friend who, whenever, they had a problem, they would just drink. And that would be it. They'd get a bottle, they'd drink, and that'd be it. So, and then she also said that she's a social drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it brings the question of, in this situation, she could be feeling some type of way, so she is reverting to drinking.
Absolutely.
And in eyes, that could mean she has a drinking problem, or it could just be, this is just, she's not drinking to excess, but maybe, like I said, it's just a coping thing for her. But still, it could be considered being an alcoholic. So you could see it either way. It's just...
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations where everything is in the eye of the beholder. Right? While it may not be a problem for you, it may look like a problem to someone else.
Right. That's very true. Like it really just depends on the person. But so moving on, everybody's outside, and Chris and Alexis.
Yes.
And while you're doing that, Justine says, I wonder if her mind changed when she met in person.
You mean Keke?
Yeah. Whose mind? Keke's mind?
I think for most of these couples, I think that could be very possible, Justine, because remember, the premise of, because you've watched season 1. The premise of the show is these couples have been named virtual, but they've never met in real life. So I think for all these couples, it was very possible that maybe their mind was changed not by the physical appearance, because I feel that's very very surface level, but I think maybe it might change based on behaviors and decisions, of the frequency of how they moved. That may have made them change their mind.
Well, let me read a couple comments on this. So, let's see. Melrose says, I do think Brandon has valid points about Keke drinking, but I think he went about it the wrong way. Just like the other couple went to see a therapist, Brandon and Keke should have too.
Fair point.
Someone says, let's see, this it says, this man seriously saying he just trying to crack her, and then says drinking may be triggering for Brandon, or he just looking for a reason. Keke seems like a sweetheart. He embarrassed her in front of everyone.
Yeah, that seems to be the universal theme here, that Keke really is a doll, as they say, to use a old term of phrase. And I do believe that Brandon is being protective, but he's putting 20 on 10 on the protection. Because Brandon, from the photo shoot, he seems like an even keel guy. But like you said, Gigi, and like that commenter said, maybe it might be triggering for him, and maybe he hasn't unpacked that trauma yet. This is just episode 3, because if we remember, Aaron J. and Jody, at the end, I mean, sadly it was at the end, but Jody gave some emotionality at the end that I think you and I were both very flabbergasted by, if I'm not mistaken. So we have to see if Brandon has that same emotionality space to be able to release that trauma.
Yeah. Let's see. I am Miss Pinky says Brandon is frustrated and turned off at this point, and I don't blame him, because I get turned off by men who drink and can't handle their alcohol. It's disgusting to me. And Keke needs to realize that she's drinking to mask something. She's insecure and is using drinking to hide that, which is what I just said. This is her way of coping with something. There's just something. Now, there's a comment that I just seen, and when I said it left me flabbergasted.
Go ahead.
I don't know whether to read this comment now or wait until we get to the part about Jared.
Okay,
so,
hang on. So here's the skill. Watch this, y'all. What was it? What's the word that we said from Ready to Love? Oh my God, not offensive, but
combative.
Yes. Okay. So here's the skill, y'all. Is the comment combative? And that's a 1. To bay, did you catch a fish? Which is a 10. So where is it on the scale of that?
It's okay. I'm gonna tell you. It's on the.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm gonna tell you, because it's past that. It's to the point of I don't eat Popeye's chicken, and I like my steak medium rare.
Oh hell no! Not Maurice. Not Maurice. Not Maurice.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So on the scale of this comment, I'm gonna have to wait, because man.
Well, hang on here. Hang on 1 second. Now, listen. I have been minding what does Braylon say? Drinking my water and minding my black-owned business and being a wealthy uncle. Now, Gigi, hi. Why do you have my eloquent statements in your mouth again?
Well, because evidently your cousin elevated your eloquent comments. This is great. Wait, just okay. We got to move
Let's
on.
just move on.
Because this, and listen, if I bet you if you go to, the press we have for it, if you scroll down, you would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wait, say that one more time.
If you go to where we see it at, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, the link.
If you look down, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. But we're gonna move on.
Yes.
I
will. I'm waiting with bated breath for that comment.
Yes.
Please hashtag bookmark that mentally, so we can get back to that for sure. So after that, I think it was.
It was basically Chris and Angela. Because
wasn't there a conversation with the guys?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It was basically Ty and Clay. They were just talking about the different, there's different vegans. Yeah, and then it goes to Angela and Chris talking about her being controlling, or Chris using the term controlling, and then both apologizing to each other.
Yes, I think I have a picture of. By the way, vegans do eat meat, y'all. Just to let you know. In case you did not know, they do eat meat. So I'm just rolling on with that. What, Gigi? What? There's impossible burgers involved in burgers.
Yeah, I had to get my last sip of Arizona. When Ty said there's different kind of vegans, there's raw vegan, there's vegetarians. I was like, vegetarians and vegans aren't the same. They're different. Wait a second. Okay, that's fine.
And vegetarians, they do eat eggplant. So that is.
But see, he was saying he was giving him some good advice. I will say that, because he was telling him, like, hey, if you're going to change, your diet for someone, do it gradually. Don't just try to jump all in and today you're just gonna be a vegan. It's not gonna work out the way you think it will if you do it like that.
And not to mention too, I think people really miss the fact that not only is food to your body type because of body mass index and your the structure of who you are, but also financially it takes the right structure financially to be that. What I mean? And to finish that vegan joke, y'all, women who are vegan eat eggplants and men who are vegan eat peaches. So, there is that. Yeah.
Moving on. Jeez.
What was I supposed to do? It was Ty's fault. This ain't my fault, Gigi. It's Ty's fault.
Okay, yeah.
So there's Chris. And there's Alexis. Go ahead.
I don't know, because I'm just not sure about them yet. I don't see them lasting.
Okay.
But I mean,
they did have some activity in a they did have some activity later on. And we're gonna get to that because it was a remix of an activity. But I like how they remixed it though. And this season really, Gigi, is a remix of season 1.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Hey, be on Reality BTV. Hey, fam, first time here enjoying the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
Much love to you. And Justine Bow says, "Oh my, old and tired." Not old and tired, chat. Lord Jesus.
Yes, that's what they said. It wasn't me. They said this season's old and tired. It wasn't me. I didn't say.
Speaking of old and tired, do you feel like
I thought you was gonna say something else. Go ahead.
No. I mean, with me, you never know what I'm going to say. I think we all know that by now. But no, do you feel like anybody from Ready to Love, Dallas, Texas season where we have combated Jessica and, Auntie, do you feel like anybody on that cast could be on the Never Ever Mets? Because, I mean, honestly, if Chris from Ready to Love could be on the Never Ever Mets, I mean, at this point, anybody from Ready to Love could be on the Never Ever Mets.
Yeah, there would be a few of them that I feel like from Ready to Love that would probably take their chance. Not just Chris, because, we've seen him cross over from Ready to Love Dallas to here. So anyone else, I'd say, like, honestly, Grand Marnier. I feel like he would. Let me see.
Grand Marnier.
Yes, I can see it. Who else? Kira.
Yeah.
I could see Kira. What was the one that came and looked like a Pepsi bottle?
Not a Pepsi bottle. All from Texas.
But you know who I'm talking about, though.
I think I do. Oh my God.
What is their name? I forget, but I think that they would be on the Never Ever Mets. Yeah.
I can't remember the light skinned Jasmine, but the one with the transportation company. That brother screwed himself out with a good woman. I'm still
yeah.
I'm like, you dumb fuck. And she was debating on accepting your ass. I mean, Jesus. Y'all could have been fucking in a Sprinter, and she owns the company. Okay, you know what? I'm not saying that I would like to do that. I was saying an option that he could have done if he did not fuck it up, ladies and gentlemen. I just want that to be very clear.
Definitely dropped the ball on that one. But
Jesus Christ. Goddamn mouth.
And I mean, I can see a couple of these couples being on Ready to Love too. That's on here, but I just cannot get over this time span. 4.5 years, 4 years, 12 years. Like, this is what? No.
Do you and Gigi, you've been on the side of casting before. I haven't been on that side of casting because I'm more of the creator, executive producer, host. Haven't been on that side of casting, but you have. Do you feel that with this show that the casting team, picks some couples that have dated longer because maybe not just the connection is stronger, but maybe the storylines are more juicier, and then the couples that have dated for maybe a year to months are just kind of secondary storylines, and then they piece they piece a roadmap for the season from that point of view, because it seems like that's how
that's definitely what's going on, especially the fact that so it all depends. Okay, so there's different things they look for in casting, whether it's a commercial, reality TV, a movie, anything like that. There's always a different look that they're going for. Sometimes they can be going for the simple relationship, like, okay, you've only been dating a few months, here's your opportunity to meet. But of course they have to get the wow factor. The one that's going to really make you interested is the one that's going to ask you, where you have to ask, like, why? How could this? When you start asking the questions of the how and the why, is going to draw you in more. So then you're going to be wanting to understand what they were thinking, what's kept them together. Are they going to last? So yeah, it's definitely, it's more than just you guys have been dating for a while, let's go ahead and give you the chance. No, it's like, we're going to exploit this because why not?
Exactly.
And I will say this also is they put people who really are in relationships, they put them together. That's why you might see ones that might be like, oh, a month, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Most of the time they're plants.
Gotcha.
They're really not saying all the time,
Right.
but sometimes they're plants.
Now, me and Gigi, we don't just talk about life. We also are both media nerds, of social media, and we've talked about how OWN could make Ready to Love or this show their 90-day fiance. And by the way, 90-Day Fiance is on TLC, and when we say 90-Day Fiance, they have spun off everything and then some. Out of their brain, their ass, and everything in between. Do you feel like by the time maybe season 3 or 5, because this is still a new show mostly for the audience, do you feel like by season 3 or 5 that they could go back and do remixes of couples that are single and also do spin-offs of some couples, potentially? Because we've been saying that Ready to Love, they should have been, Ready to Love South Africa and Ghana and on cruise ship.
Yeah, I do feel like it could be remixed at least after season 5.
Okay.
At least let it get syndicated first.
They get to 100 episodes first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because normally once you get that, that's when your spinoffs come. That's when, because it's you kind of know how it's gonna go the first season,
right?
But things can always change that second and third season,
correct?
Unless you keep up the momentum. But then, really, like after you can keep it up for 3 seasons and you're going. Yeah, spinoffs are coming.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's easier to catch a spinoff.
Yes. No. For sure, without question. That leads to the main show. Reality BTV. Excuse me. Says that time span is not realistic. There was a couple named Josh and Shay that they spent that they dated for 12 years, child, from the first season.
Yeah.
So
they did.
While like you said, reality BTV, while it's not realistic in the real world for you, me, Gigi, myself, and everybody in between, apparently these relationships have happened. I don't think that Chris relationship is real. 90-day everything Ready to Love has the potential. I believe a cruise ship would be great. Yeah, I mean, honestly, because like in Gigi, I think you remember why I said this. For the 10th season of Ready to Love, with all due respect, it should have been from Vegas. It should have been from Hollywood. It should have been from, Cancun. It should have been where, okay, you guys have made it 10 seasons. We're going to give a little bit more love to the budget. We're going to utilize Oprah Winfrey's branding connections. We're going to give a fuck about this season. Because to make it 10 seasons of the only black dating show on national television, we got to make a sound of victory here. Because for the 10th season being Philadelphia, no disrespect to Philly, I mean, it's the home of Jill Scott Lee, for goodness sakes. But still...
Wow.
And home to the champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Good damn, Gigi. Hell. But seriously, though, I feel like it should have been a bigger season.
Yeah.
We did talk about that a little bit.
Once they can even start doing, like you said, let's go different places, Ready to Love destinations, like, or, Ready to Love around the world, however you want, like, yeah. Because season 10, they started out great with the wedding. That was very cute. And they didn't cut it off halfway, so we don't even know what else is going on right now. Right. Not until summer, but yeah, I feel like Ready to Love is ready to transition and remix and go ahead and, kind of switch some things up. Never Ever Met, so with it being new, of course, needs just a little bit more time, but
right. But it's got the potential.
But it has the potential. Absolutely has the potential.
So
Yeah, and really, DTV says, I still think the best season of Ready to Love was the resort season. Yeah, and they could do another resort, but do destination somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
and not to mention too with 90 Day the Other Way. I mean, really, and not to mention too, Will Packer, by the way, who does Ready to Love, also does Queen's Court. And I think the Oprah Winfrey Network is primed for a Ready to Love Celebrity Edition.
Oh yeah.
But hey, that's all in due
time. That would be a good one though.
Yeah,
but let's move on because we got so much more to talk about. And I'm trying to get to this end because Jared.
Child.
So let's go ahead and move on to probably your favorite part because we're going to skip past Chris and Angela. We're just going to talk about them for a second if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Wait, Chris and Angela or Chris?
Yeah.
Chris and
Alexis. No, Chris and Angela's the one that he's with, is it? Or is it No, it's Alexis. Okay, so yeah, Chris and Alexis, when they were outside talking and apologizing to each other for the misunderstanding and miscommunication that happened between them, which was great that they both were able to talk to each other and kind of get that common ground. And you see that in the next clip, which is them outside around the little sand pit.
Yes, right here.
And right this here. Is where,
Now, Taronda, I have to say this. Now, I know you meant come, like, COME, like come over here. I wrote in my notes how it could sound it in a whole nother fashion.
And you're right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Taronda.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Taronda knew exactly what she was doing. Just like when everybody came around and she was like, so has anybody heard of the Kama Sutra? And Clay was like, me. She's like, I know you have. Like, she's quirky and she's got her remarks. Love Taronda. Ever since she was on Empire, she did a hell of a job on Empire. Absolutely loved her. When we found out that she was hosting season 1, we were all excited. Just waiting to see what she was doing because that's her first hosting job.
Yes.
And of course, she did so good that she's back again, and I hope they keep her. Don't change it up. No. Keep her, and keep moving on.
And if you haven't seen Taronda's hosting style, like Gigi said, this is her first hosting job. And me and Gigi both, I think we gave so much praise, but I think it was so well deserved because, like I said, me and Gigi are both media nerds of social media, and we study everything in media, including hosting styles. And I think what me and Gigi both loved, and Gigi, you can also speak for yourself, but since me and you are, connected, I don't think, you will disagree with what I'm saying. But in the same token, Taronda was a host that spoke with the contestants, but also allowed the contestants to hold their own. She did it to subtract from the experience because there's some hosts that are like, for example, Chris Harrison would say, well, the former host of The Bachelor, it's the final roast tonight. And it's like, motherfucker, we know it's the final roast. We see it right there. But with Taronda, there was a moment with Chris and Sandia last season where it was almost like Goku in Dragon Ball Z when he would go Super Saiyan. And it was Kamehameha energy, and she wailed his ass verbally so good. She's such a good host because she understands that this experience is a lot. You've never met this person. And so you need a host that can, nuck if you buck to support you, but also be a coach to guide you through this fight that you've never been in before. You can give your take, Gigi, if I'm off with anything that I've just said throughout this whole season.
No, you nailed it. Yeah, she's definitely a host that adds to the show. She doesn't take away. Like some hosts, you have their dominance or just their presence is kind of too overwhelming to the point where it does take away from the show. And sometimes it'll make it to where it's like, I would watch it if, you know what I'm saying? And and sometimes that's why you do get some hosts who end up leaving because they weren't a good fit for the show. Got too many complaints, or there's a lot of different reasons why it happens, but sometimes it does happen because the host's personality just doesn't fit with the show. That's not the case with her. She absolutely adds to the show. She adds presence, she adds style, she adds humor, she adds a lot. Like in such a serious situation like this where you're meeting someone you haven't met before, and even though you've been talking online, you still haven't physically been in the same room. It's different. It's just like with regular dating. It's different when you're regularly dating and you guys get to separate. You know what I'm saying? You go home, they go home. You're not together 24/7. Compared to being under the same roof with someone 24/7, you start to see different things about them that you didn't see before. And it's the same with this. You go from dating online, you guys can log off and go about your day. But when you're around each other, you don't have that luxury. So Taronda definitely brings a different kind of joy to the show in such a situation as serious as what it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. The only situation that I don't think has happened yet, and it's only 2 seasons, y'all. So this is just a prediction. And Gigi, let me know what you think before we talk about this remix. And I love how they remix it. We're going to get to that just in like 2.5 seconds. Do you think that there will ever be a time with the show where there is a couple? Now, I know it kind of was semi-energy with Chris and Sandia, but do you ever think that there will be a couple that they don't get along, but yet there's another couple that don't get along, and then those two actually become a couple at the end of the Never Ever Mets? Because I feel like that situation could happen. Now, Taronda...
I felt like that could have happened between Jody and Chris, because the way that he was treating Sandia, but then the way that he was with Jody was like total opposites. Like, so I actually kind of thought that could have happened last season. And
me too.
And since there hasn't been really a reunion, we really don't know what's happened since then. We did get interviews from, members of the cast afterwards, but still, like, it would have been great to have more update and more of a reunion when it came to season 1. But yeah, I absolutely think it can happen, and I'm kind of waiting for it too, because with the way season 2 is going, this is crazy.
So with that being so articulately stated by Gigi Nine and myself, let's get to this remix now. Karma Sutra was, if I'm not mistaken, Gigi, I think this exercise was towards the end of last season, on the middle of last season, not the early part, correct?
Yeah, I think it was like more so in like the middle. It wasn't the very, very beginning, but it was wasn't too far from it.
And I remember a very iconic moment when and Taronda Jones is also a hands-on host. And I say that in quotations because she was used as a device in the Kama Sutra exercise, and she said, "Not Jimona in my ear."
Hold on, wait a minute. I think that was during the bondage part, because remember last season they did a bondage part. I think that's when she said that one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Either way, she responded. Either way, she responded to it like she was trying to control herself.
Okay, so question, since we are seeing that it's kind of a remix a little bit, because we did see some of this well, at least like the whole Kama Sutra part, they did this last season. Do you think they could have this as kind of a normal part of the show? Like each season, this is going to be a part of it.
You mean like this could be an anchor for the show?
Yeah.
Oh, without question. I mean, every show has an anchor. For example, with Big Brother, the legendary head of household competition, it is the anchor of that show. With The Amazing Race, it is the detours, right? And the fact that you are actually competing around the world. There is no AI. When you are in India and you can't speak Indian, you're fucked. When it is the Immunity Idol Challenge and Survivor, and JetPro says Survivor's ready, go. Those are all anchors. So for sure, without question, this could be an anchor.
Okay.
By the way, can I just say that Keke is rocking her outfits? Now, I know on reality TV, and Gigi, you let me know, because I think in film, it really does depend on if you can get approval to showcase these brands. But Keke's figure is figuring in these outfits. I have to say, we saw her in the boudoir shoot, child.
Yeah, Keke definitely is, beautiful, even though she's on the bigger side. Like, she's still beautiful, but I still feel like that's something that she's coping with. That's why the whole alcohol problem keeps coming about, because I feel like that's a part of her coping to deal with certain things that she's gone through in life. But yeah, she definitely looks good.
You can see Charli's donk right there. Like, I mean, it's a wide shot, but it's there. I mean, just good Lord, she just...
Yeah. So going through the whole thing.
Yes.
So basically, let's just say Clay and Tatiana. So the whole challenge was whoever does it the right way and the fastest.
Yes. So how it worked was Taronda said she was going to pull names out of a hat, and then she would call that couple. And then that couple will call another couple, and it was basically like a versus, the versus from Timberland and Swiss Beats, except this was just sexual positions versus. Pretty much. I know some people be like,
pretty much.
Okay. Can you not have anything? Can you not just take an inch and make it a mile? Y'all, we are media nerds. What do you expect us to do here? But that's pretty much what it was. So they would be in that position for 10 seconds. The best one stays, the worst one leaves, and they did something new, Gigi, with this. The couple that wins gets a massage. What did you think about that element? Because like we're saying, this is a remix of season one. There was a prize, but it was like for a furniture package. But it was like from a company we never heard of before. No shade to that company,
right.
Okay? To get on that first season of a major cable network, like, congratulations, branding, marketing, promotion wise. That's not easy to do, but we never heard of y'all. So,
yeah, that was definitely like I don't know what they did, but I feel like with this season they're definitely trying to build more on connection. They are definitely, I guess, trying to, I don't know if it's rush these couples into being comfortable, or if they're really just trying to test the bounds of their relationship.
Right.
You got to kind of open it up. You're uncomfortable. This is the best way. Like, sometimes you have to sit in your uncomfortability. And I feel like that's what this was. But it was definitely a good prize for whoever won. It's a good incentive. So as a couple, whoever wins, you get to go get that massage. So I feel like that was a great incentive for this challenge that they did. Of course, they're going to do more challenges and there'll be more prizes. But this, starting out with this challenge and this being a prize, I felt like that was good, because it's going to help that couple connect more. Having a massage with your partner definitely, especially when you're able to look, right across and see your partner enjoying, their massage, and then being able to look over at you, vice versa. I think, and we've talked about it, Ty and Brittany, I feel like definitely are good. Now we see what happens next week in the previews, that it kind of looks shaky, but still rooting for them. So
for sure. To catch up on a couple of comments here, Reality BTV says, I don't think any of these couples are still together. We have to see what the end is going to be, because there was a moment in time with Aaron H and Diamond, and then me and Gigi got the inside tea on that there was more than meets the eye, that they were actually, and Gigi, help me recollect the memory if you can, beautiful, that they were actually in the same room when they taped these interviews with Taronda, and Aaron H said that he had no idea that these interviews was going to be happening, which I think you and me pushed back a little bit on that, because usually when you are a cast member on a show, everything is happening in real time, but at least they give you an outline of how many weeks they're going to need you to be off. They don't tell you what's going to happen within that episode, because it's called reality TV for a reason. But, for example, on Survivor, when Jeff Probst tells the challenge, what you guys see is, okay, we're going to break, and we'll get started. What y'all don't see is that Jeff Probst and the team are talking with the teams on Survivor about how the challenge works. And then what you guys see on CBS is Jeff Probst saying, Survivor's ready, go. So yeah, I say all that to say with this part right here of, you really don't know what it's going to be until we see it, reality BT, because there were some couples that we thought weren't together that were still together, like even Chris and Sandia being together at the end. I think you and me were both flabbergasted. Like, you mean to tell me after this motherfucker respected another woman than you still with his ass?
Yeah. I'm just.
So we really don't know if these couples aren't together or not, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you just never know, because there's so much that you. How many times have we said, first, people make time for the things that they want to make time for? So,
yes.
This long is going this long in a relationship that you haven't met somebody, and then you go and it turns out like this. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
15 minutes of fame. But Lathea Johnson says 1 to 4 years online dating. At this point, you're just bored. It's just something to do, and these couples are not serious.
That could be possible. But also too, I do think that this show, I think we both said this in the beginning, that I think this show is going to do a lot more for dating than people are going to see it for at first. Because I think this show forces you to see online dating IRL in real life for the first time ever. Because the conversations that are coming from this show has never been talked about on social media or with your family and your friends and your loved ones and your hated ones and everybody in between. We've never had these many conversations about relationships and dating before this show. But I think it's because of the format of the show that these conversations are coming about.
All right. But yeah. Speeding through though just a little bit.
Yep.
So they do, this activity. And honestly, I thought Clay and Tatiana was gonna get it, because Clay was on it.
Yeah, yes, he was. There was the Eagle, the Captain, the London Bridge, and don't worry, Justine, but we're gonna get to your comments, beautiful. We have not forgot. The Eagle, the Captain, the London Bridge, the Straight Line, the Oasis, the Clasp. So there was Alicia and Irvin versus Clay and Tatiana. Tatiana and Courvoisier or Clay. And Alicia was excited to get out the ring with that. I mean, she was like, "Can we get out the ring?" I'm like, "Good damn." And even Toronto was like, "Yes, she can." So I think Toronto was like, "Oh, okay, yep, you ain't giving."
Yeah, you can tell that Alicia is not into Irvin like that.
No, not at all. But Tatiana and Clay won that one. And then someone had to be the captain now. So the captain was Brandon and Keke. And Tatiana and Courvoisier or Clay. And Brandon looked like he know how to handle a big girl. Because he stretched. Child, he stretched that honey baked ham. And he wanted to get to the glaze, child. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong.
Clay was doing everything.
Oh my God.
And even Chris said, well, we know he got permission, clearly.
Oh no, I think that was about Alexis, that because of what Clay did, that gave Alexis permission to.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that about Clay and Tatiana.
No, gotcha. But to your point, a comment was made about Clay and Tatiana. Keke said the Orange Stars over here, you can get your reservations for the intimacy suite. I'm like, good damn.
Yeah, Kiki's silly.
She so is. And then Alexis said, I think Clay got her pregnant. Lord Jesus Christ.
Right, they all said it.
Oh my Lord Jesus, child. So then after that, there was the London Bridge. It was Tatiana and Clay versus Jared and Charli. And there was a comment of, y'all having kids in the sand? I'm like, really, Toronto, really? Kids in the sand? Sex on the beach, really? You really had to say that? But then Jared said,
I mean, when truth is spoken. I mean,
right? No,
everybody's seen it. It was on full display. But I also think that's also like a part of the game. That's what right. The whole point of that activity was.
Exactly right. And Jared said that we have enough. And I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. Okay then. And mentally remember that comment of we have enough, because that's going to come up a little bit later with that mentally reminded comment that Gigi wants to read later on, and also what happens later with Jared. Then we have the straight line with Tatiana and Clay and Jay and Cinco. And Taronda used the Tyra Banks quote I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Oh yeah, and Courvoisier,
there might be some slides of them if you look. That listen, I sent you quite a few slides, and I think all those are in there.
Let me see. Is it this one here? Let me see. Is it this one? Hang on. This one? Let me know if that was the one.
I'm just talking and my mic is off. That one right there was Brandon and Tatiana. But if you just keep scrolling through, it should be most of them in the sand.
Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna pull up different ones and then just let me know which one. So that one.
Yeah, you can just keep pulling them up, or we could talk about them as you pull them up.
Yeah. So here's one picture here, y'all. That right there. And you know what? I just realized this. You know that picture, Gigi? You probably have seen it. Of this is how I look like on my back, as this big girl who just who just fell back. Every time I see that picture of that woman, first of all, that woman should be getting royalties for that picture. First of all, that's just disrespectful. If she's not. But number two, tell me why every time I see that picture, I always say, "And what's your point?" Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. But what I think Tatiana was talking about how she was basically getting her workout and being able to get, to stretch out and stuff.
Yes. And Tatiana, when it came to the straight line, she did not like Clay's extraness because he was holding on right here. Oh, this was the picture right here. Hang on, let me pull it up. But he knew where to grab, though. I will definitely say that now. He definitely knew where to grab. For sure. He was definitely enjoying himself. He forgot people were there. He forgot cameras were there. He even got this could air.
Yep, and then you see Cinco and Jay over there just. But I will say, Clay and Tatiana, they do look like a cute couple. They do look good together.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
The fact that, she does know, well, it's coming up, but her feeling like he's lying and keeping something and him knowing that he is, that's what's going to mess them up. But other than that, I feel like their chemistry's good. They look good together, but that secret is it's going to be a problem.
No, for sure. And with the straight line, Jay and Cinco win. And then the Oasis coming up is Ty and Brittany versus let me get back to my notes.
Chris and Alexis.
No way. I think the Oasis was Ty and Brittany and Jay and Cinco.
Okay, yeah, first, and then it goes because Jay and Cinco lost.
Yep. And Ty and Brittany won. So let me pull up that picture there. 1 second, y'all. So Ty and Brittany here. So Ty and Brittany, they won. And then y'all, I think out of all the positions, the funniest one was the clasp. It was Chris and Alexis versus Ty and Brittany. Child, listen. When I tell you, Chris had some fun, Lord Jesus. Listen, you know you want to ride, let me be good to you. Hey, let's do it, ride it, jump on. He was rapping that. I mean, Brittany and Ty looked like more of a, it more looked like a love monkey situation. But I mean, this was like a mechanical bull on a beach. Gigi, what did you think of the class? Because that was hilarious as hell.
Yeah, I thought it was even more hilarious when she went back and almost fell. I was like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
Let me pull up that picture. Hang on, right here. Now, me being the thickologist that I am, as you can see here, he's holding on to where the butterfly wings are. You see, he is gripping the butterfly wings here. Me coming from Thickology University, that was butterfly wings 101. I spent many hours in that class. So right, you see the grip there, and then Alexis is holding on, and then the taunting from Chris there. So I think there was a reaction right here. Oh my God. And then Taronda said, "Let go of these women." What did you think of that exchange with the whole clasp, and also too with what Taronda said afterward? Because
I thought it was hilarious, and Taronda just made it over the top. That's what I said, with her hosting skills. She definitely brings comedy. She brings excitement. She brings the realness, because we've seen how she not only did the first season, but how she is right now. She's very authentic and genuine. So she brings a lot of culture to the show.
Absolutely. Because when she said "let go of these women," they both were having fun. Like, you know what? Just let go.
Just let go.
Stop.
Yeah.
Because y'all both are having too much fun in this sand right now. Oh my Lord. So Ty and Brittany are the official winners, but I put down Chris and Alexis should have won for just entertainment.
Yeah, the entertainment part, right? But the whole goal was to do it the right way,
right,
and the quickest. So, but yeah, being able to have fun and do that's definitely a good thing. I was just so afraid that she was going to fall and hit her head. I'm so glad she didn't. And I think Taronda knew it too. That's why she was like, just let him go. Just let go.
It's like, wait a minute, we haven't made to 100 episodes yet.
Right. He's finna,
and this is still a new job for me, so I want to keep this job.
She finna knock her head loose a little bit, and he finna throw his back out. Like, let's stop right now. Just stop it. Taronda knew when to call it quits and throw in the towel now.
Part right there. That part. I'm gonna catch up on Justine Bell's comments here. Well, to be honest, I would drink because he made reference to my drinking for Keke. My thinking behavior on screen one way and a person another, and then I want to heart that comment. LOL for sure. So after all of this is said and done, we're in the kitchen with Keke and Alexis, and Keke, it looks like she's not really feeling good per se, because she tells Alexis to fix noodles. What did you think about that, Gigi? Because that kind of seemed like out left field.
Yeah, that definitely threw, how do I put this? I feel like that was a way of her sabotaging anything that could possibly happen. She probably is still mad about him calling her out about the drinking, understandable, but there's so many ways to deal with that. She could have definitely dealt with that in more of an adult situation, knowing that it was her turn and Brandon's turn to cook for everybody. For you to just give up, say you don't feel well, that's a cop out. And again, it does kind of bring up the question, is it because you haven't drank? Right. Is it because you haven't drank, or is it because you drank too much last night? Yeah. Like, which one is it?
And then it's telling a whole nother stranger that all y'all have never made, Joe, which is most reality TV shows, but specifically with this show, that every person is trying to create a relationship based off of a virtual connection that they're finally meeting in real life, and you're telling a whole stranger that's grown as you are grown to cook for you?
Yeah, that was definitely a cop out. I feel it just came out of nowhere. Um, and not even to say that it came out of nowhere. Like I said, I feel like she was still holding on to the fact of him embarrassing her or bringing up her drinking. And we've said that really all depends on the person and how they feel, how they see it, because it could be a sign of alcoholism, but then again, it could just be, maybe she wasn't feeling good, or she was just in her feelings about the whole situation, so she decided she's not going to, participate. But still, either way it goes, it was wrong, because that this is a part of what you guys are going to do. It was said the first episode that you guys are going to clean or cook for each other, especially as a couple. So to sever that, I feel like that definitely was a sabotage. I feel like she sabotaged it by doing that, and he is sabotaging it by, her drinking. Right. Like, if he really has a problem with that, then that's going to be the issue he has, and hers is the fact that it's being called out.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, we got to think Keke's got a secret of her own. So this is just going to be something that's just going to top it all off.
Yeah. It seems like this seems like this season is a season of a SOS, season of secrets. And usually that type of season is like a season 5, not a season 2. I mean, it's a classic reality TV trope, ladies and gentlemen, of secrets, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's usually later on down the line, not this early in the infancy of a new show.
Yeah. But that definitely just definitely looks bad on her part. As much as I'm rooting for Keke and thinking, oh, Keke's so sweet, she's this, that, and the third, she's showing that, one, she can't handle certain stressful situations, and that maybe this relationship isn't what she really wants it to be, or what she really wants.
Correct.
Because they've been dating for, was it 4 years too?
Hang on, let me go to own.com and pull it up. Give me one moment.
Yeah. Trying to think of the other couple that's been dating 4 years. I know Charli and Jared, but then there was another couple that's been dating online for 4 years. And I thought it was Keke and Brandon.
Hang on. Oh, come on. Really, laptop? Is that what we're doing today? So we still got the poll results a little bit later, y'all. So the Never Ever Met. Let me go to the cast. Keke and Brandon have been dating for 4 years.
Okay, so yeah. So in these 4 years of y'all dating, you're now meeting each other. One, with the secrets that are being held back already, it's really gonna make the relationship bad.
Yeah.
Then you see that in person they're a different way, or not, I guess, not living up to the expectation that one has of a person.
Correct.
So now each other's finding fault as to why, you know what I'm saying, things are questionable, and him saying no.
Right.
But yeah, her not helping in the kitchen during this time says a lot and speaks volumes, and I feel like she was definitely disrespectful when it came to that. Like,
without question.
That definitely could have been the time to talk about it. You two in the kitchen, if you really wanted to, make sure everyone's out, and this is the time we're going to. You can have it as an exercise, as well as helping. If you guys are into it or having this discord, okay, we'll take the time to cook together, because in cooking you have to trust each other, just like in a relationship. So this is a time for trust. You have to trust that the person knows what utensils you need, knows how much seasoning to put in there, or, what I'm saying, knows how to do something while you're doing something else. Like, you have to trust the process. So she definitely could have took that opportunity to have it that way.
And it comes up a little bit later on that Keke adds fuel to the fire. Not purposefully. And we will get to that. And Brandon gives a reason that I think any man or woman would agree with. Like I said, not in the way Brandon's going about, but specifically with cooking. This particular dinner, there's a significant reason for Brandon.
Right.
How he wanted to cook for Keke, but we'll get to that. This situation right here, child, let's talk about it, because so last week I said I thought that was Jared because it was one of the guys get up very quickly, but I could tell from the face structure and everything and body structure it looked like Jared. So Clay or Courvoisier and Jared are sitting at the pool talking, and basically Clay or Courvoisier said his ex-fiance moved from LA to Atlanta and then came into the house pregnant. Now, like, excuse me? This wasn't a girlfriend, this was your ex-fiance? And and this child's a newborn, so that means you were smashing your ex-fiance as you were in a relationship with Tatiana. Gigi, go ahead, child. I just was like,
and that's the whole thing too. Is once again we go back to the secrets. How can you have trust in a relationship when you're holding secrets? And Jared and Charli kind of led the way and opened up the door because they actually spoke out about the fact that, hey, we both had this secret, but we were able to just now tell each other the secret, and we're deciding to move forward even though Jared's lying. It's like that was the door opener, I feel like, for, hey, if there are some secrets, go ahead and tell them. And we even talked about it.
Yes.
Clay and Tatiana had a private moment, and she even brought up the fact of, hey, if you had secrets like that, would you tell me? Exactly. And him knowing that he has a secret like that is intentionally not telling her.
Right.
And even lied about if he did, he'd wait for the time and all this. So this right here, them two talking is like two peas in a pod.
Correct.
Like, I could see them being best friends.
Oh, without question. And the fact that Tatiana said in the intimacy suite that I don't want you to be that way with me. She literally said that. But child, it was what happened after that. When Tatiana came up, and hang on, I gotta bring up the clip. I just have to give you one moment. This clip comes in handy so many times. Let's see here. Give me one moment.
Yeah, when Tatiana walks up and she done heard what was said.
Child, this was Candy Burris was Courvoisier and Clay, and then Art Bertha was Tatiana.
They never got no picture. I'm telling you a story, Mama. Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
What?
The way she got up and turned around out that chair. Listen.
Wait, you want to play that one more time?
One more time.
Okay. Roll it.
They never got no picture. I'm telling you a story, Mama. Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
That's crazy.
You know what? To your articulate point, it was the fluidity of I'ma say what the fuck I'm gonna say. I'ma show that my age ain't shit. Cause she said it and spun and walked away as the queen she was. I decree that Todd is a bullshitter and you deal with that shit. End of discussion.
The way she said it when she said came to you with the bullshit. And then she knew. Listen, Candy's mama, it does not play.
Not at all.
You know what? Moving on.
And that was Tatiana.
Tatiana was like, nah, I heard you. So what are you talking about? And he just, the way he spun this shit.
Oh my God. He said, I'm just in love with you. And your eyes and the way that they entrap me and how you move, it gives me that, that Benny Hinn 1, 2, 3 fire energy. And, my without you, girl, to use a song, my life is incomplete. Tatiana was like, cut the bullshit. She let me put it like,
definitely was like,
she didn't say it like that, but she could tell what was up.
Yeah, she already knew. Listen, I heard you when I walked up saying something. What are you talking about? And then you want to say that. And she said, I feel like you're lying. I don't feel like that's the truth. She knows it's not. She knows absolutely. She is unequivocally sure that it's true. She knows. She's smart. And that's what I like, is the fact that she's smart. She's not letting him run around and just say stuff and make her believe it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely good. But the way that he was able to spin that and lie to her like that, she better run for the hills. Run, baby, run. Because that's crazy. That is crazy.
And not to mention, too, she wasn't even in the energy of myself and Gigi or even, Candy's mama. She was actually still making a space for him to be like, you lying to me. What's going on?
Yeah. So she keeps giving him these open doors to say, if he's hiding something, got something going on, and he just is not taking it. Just
and Clay is being Marvin Sapp and saying, I'm closing the door. I'm closing the door. I'm closing the door.
You know what? That is so funny, because my husband showed me that video the other day and we was cracking up. Close the door. Close the door. Close. My husband had me cracking up on that. I was like, oh my. So it's funny that you referenced that. Yes, that's exactly. Yeah. Close the door. Close the door. Close the door.
And Tatiana was like, hold up, shorty, hold up, ish. To use Sugar Mama's words, I'm the first lady of this motherfucker. You're going to open these doors and we're going to talk about this shit.
Right. That is, yeah. Because Tatiana was like, what? While he said he closed the door. No, you're not. I know you lying. So I'm opening up the door so you can go ahead and let it out. You steady trying to close it. So it makes me hope that he was one of the hell no's or one of the no's, because you already know you're lying. Mm-hmm. You're continuing to, as even after this woman's giving you an opening several times. Absolutely. But yeah, so moving on, Brandon's in the kitchen cooking. Let's get to this whole, because that thing, like I said, we didn't already talked about it, so we're not going to stay too much on it. But Keke walking out and not wanting to help cook, and then you see.
So this was Brandon here in the kitchen when I think it was Jay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Jay, Cinco, and him. There might have been somebody else, but
telling Brandon that Keke was outside, which was this picture with Brittany.
Yeah. And what made that even more messed up is everybody's wondering, like, well, why does it matter? The matter is because Keke was supposed to be in the kitchen with Brandon cooking.
Correct.
And she told him that she was not feeling well. And she left out the kitchen, went upstairs, and had been laying down.
Yep.
Brittany came up there and had talked to her. She got up out the bed. They ended up walking outside because that was the time I think when Keke was talking about her mom and the whole drinking. It might have been either then or when she was talking to Tatiana. But that's what made it to where they were all surprised, because she didn't want to be in the kitchen cooking. She was upstairs laying down, but now you're out back talking with Brittany.
Right.
Which, I mean, either way, it could have just been where, hey, she needed some time to vent. She's going to come back in there. Everything's going to be fine. But that's not the case. She stayed out there. It was never her intent to go inside the house and cook.
Correct.
And as you were saying, when it comes to Brandon cooking, not only was it supposed to be a couple thing, but Brandon was thoughtful and made her favorite dish. He cooked, I think it was hibachi.
Yep.
And she did not even help in this. I don't even think she knew that that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
But for him to be so thoughtful and to say, hey, I'm going to make dinner, not only with you, but I want to make something for you, which is something you like, even though we're cooking for 6 other couples,
right?
You know,
and he said this
is still for you.
This was the first time. I mean, of course, it's called the Never Ever Met, but still that significance of, because like the first season, Gigi, and let me know if I'm off with this, beautiful. It really wasn't. I don't think anybody on that cast was that intentional to say, I wanted to cook this for you, and this was going to be the first time that I was able to do this for you. I don't think we had that the first season.
No, I don't think so. So especially when you specifically pick out something and you say, here, this is what I'm going to do for this person, and you're showing like a gesture or a grand gesture like that, for it not to be reciprocated or even looked upon as being special or something, or being considered, like, it takes away from it.
Yeah.
So now what you're doing for someone else, they're not even appreciating it or showing any type of appreciation. So why are you going to want to do it again?
Absolutely.
So
that was a very heavy moment, and I think people could agree with Brandon in that particular moment. I don't think there was anybody who was watching that was not on Brandon's side for that particular conversation. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, he is still aggressive about Keke's drinking. But in that moment, I don't think anybody disagreed that Brandon did feel hurt. Which, I mean, you know, I feel like anybody would have been hurt in that situation. So then we get to Alicia and Irvin. And I do like the fact that it's... Did the experts come in the early episodes too, Gigi?
Yeah.
They did. They did? Okay. Because I'm trying to think. I think it was... There was no, I think it was Chris and Sandia, right? They were outside by a fire, right? Or they were outside the house, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, okay, thank you.
But the first one, remember, was Brandon and the other one.
Yes.
Because they had kind of gotten into it even then.
Correct.
So yeah, they started when they brought in like the therapists and specialists. They started that early in the first season.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Beautiful. So we get to Alicia and Irvin, and it's a very interesting conversation because the trauma and relation expert, we always try our very best to give credit to these experts, because compared to some other own shows, the fact that this show, like Gigi Sarchically said earlier at the top of the show, that they really put, capital into the show, not just socially, but financially, to create this space where you actually have resources. Is saying more than other shows, not just on OWN, but for television, period. But the trauma and relation expert's name is Dr. Wendy Ashley. And so Alicia and Irvin been there, 5 to 6 months virtually. And then Alicia says that her authentic self has been criticized. And Irvin says that, you don't cultivate empathy, right? And Dr. Wendy Ashley said, you both are disappointed. And Irvin, to your point, Gigi, and to that other person's point in the comment section of the platform that, we have access to, said that, Alicia is utilizing her condition against Irvin. And Alicia, says, why am I using my condition? Why would I be using my condition against you? And Dr. Wendy Ashley said something that I thought was very on point. She said, your trauma is telling him to be a different person. What did you think about that exchange with Alicia, Irvin, Dr. Wendy Ashley?
I feel like that was a good interaction, and I'm pretty sure Alicia's heard this before. Is she accepting of it? I don't think so. And I think that that's something that's holding her back. And we talked about the whole weaponizing your illness. Not saying that that's what she's doing, but that's kind of seems like that's what she's doing.
Right.
Read a comment here from Black Butterfly. Erwin's too good for Alicia. I can tell this whole experience is terrible for him, and he truly wants to go home. Alicia's mad annoying, honestly. He's right. She weaponizes her illness. She isn't ready to be with anyone. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think Black, you said Black Butterfly?
Yeah, Black Butterfly.
I don't think Black Butterfly is wrong about that. And like I said, this is just episode 3. If you're already feeling this uncomfortable by episode 3, then that uncomfortability is just going to play out for the rest of the season. And, my mom has always said you get more flies with honey than with vinegar. And it seems like Alicia is giving out a lot of vinegar, and Irvin's giving out a lot of honey. Could be wrong in my, in my purview of my commentary on that, but that's how I'm seeing it. Because I really have not seen, from what we have seen, me, Gigi, and all of you in the live chat, the Bushes, and the Replay gang, and the audience as a whole who's watching the show, I don't think we have seen anything that Irvin did that has been wrong. Even though it's episode 3, a lot can happen in 3 episodes. So
even though it's only been 3 episodes, we've definitely seen a lot in 3 episodes, and we have seen the disconnect between Alicia and Irvin, because I don't feel like she's opening herself up to actually accept him or even try to get to know him in a way. And it is kind of like she's weaponizing her illness, which is, sad to say. If you feel this way, why bring yourself to be on a show?
Correct.
And are you trying to be the spokesperson for the illness? Are you going to start, get your following up, and the next, you start selling stuff like, is this your 15 minutes of fame?
Correct.
If that is, stake your claim to it and then go ahead and move on. But when you're playing with a person's feelings, that's when things can get dangerous. So I feel like if they're not going to be together or it's not really going to work, just don't stay just for the process.
Correct. Absolutely. Fully agree. Like I said, we already talked about Keke and Brandon, so we can definitely skip over that. Now, there is a dinner that happens here, and oh my God, sometimes I just wonder, like, who gives these cast members carte blanche to just be this stupid? Like, this game was like too early. Like, there was a game at the end, but it was a game at the end because the connections have been built. And it's just like, now you have that game being the main storyline and reduces the veracity and the vitality of why you guys are even there. The game is not the show. You couples are the show. Go ahead, Gigi, what's your take?
You're opening yourself up to so much with these games. And I mean, whoever decided, hey, we're going to do this, all right. We see what happens at the end.
That part.
But
yeah,
I feel like in a way too, this was another way for Jared to get out some more truth. Like, let's play this game. Who else is with me? Who's not? Let's say right now, who would you be with? Like, if you had to leave with your partner right now, would you? Yes or no? I feel like that was his setup for him to be able to basically say what he's feeling.
Right. It's almost like if you're playing spades or Uno, or if you guys were out and about and there was a conversation that was happening, you would be shady in your comments of saying what you really want to say, but then you're able to deflect later because you're like, oh, well, that was just the conversation that we were having. That was just my thoughts. But you still said, no, that was a conversation. And then it's having the black imagination of, okay, would you say those comments if it was just me and you? And then you tense up. It's like, that's not the same. So basically, to lead up to the game, everybody was given their reactions and stuff. And, it was basically majority of the experiences challenging, good, this, that, and the third. And then Brandon said it's been surprising, frustrating, this, that, and the third. And Keke just looked like, the energy just left her face. Like, damn. And I did feel bad for Keke because Keke's not a horrible person compared to some other people that's been on reality television. I'd rather hang out with Keke than other options. But then it leads to the game. So here are the answers. And these vary. And I'm not just saying that to say that Gigi will let you know as well, because she also watched the episode. These answers were very varied and blunt. We have a hell yes. We have a yes forever and ever. We have a yes. We have a question mark. We have a no. Their words, not mine or Gigi's. Fuck no. Undecided with question marks. Yes. No. Say yes. Hell to the no. And yes. That was an interesting game. It was the diversity of answers for me, G.
Yeah. To find out who said what, that's what that's what makes things worse than what they are. Because so everybody is sitting there and they're like, you know, the ones who said yes forever, ever, you know, like, yeah, you know, yeah, I love da da da. And even Ty was like, you can tell who said what, because ain't a woman saying undecided da da da. You know, so I thought that was funny. But then in the end, when it comes to Keke playing pool, Jared walks in and says, I bet I know which one you said. And it was hell no. And she said, no, mine was the question mark. But she said that she knows that Brandon said no because she's seen it. So she knew that he wrote no. Now, let's just say something when it comes to this thing with Keke. Okay, and then I'm gonna read a comment. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the comment first, and then I'm gonna say my piece. Okay, so Coco Shea Butter 18 says Keke. No, hold on. Sorry, not that one. 1 second.
Was this the one that you mentally put away?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
I'm guessing that's still to come. Okay.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna find it and then I'll go ahead and say it. But I feel that when it comes to Keke, we talked about the fact that her not helping out because, you know, she was tired and all these things. But yet you had the energy to go outside with Brittany and walk around. Even after having dinner, you still could have helped do dishes because Brandon went in and did the dishes even though he cooked. You could have went in there and helped him do the dishes. You didn't even do that. You went and played pool.
Yes.
So that I feel like is it's like another slash at the possibility of a relationship.
Right.
Whether it's something that she really wanted or he really wanted, like, I feel like those things are definitely slashing at the relationship and the possibilities of what can be.
Oh, without question. I mean, it's to that point of, you know, if you want me to root for you, you got to give me something to root for.
Yeah. Yeah, and somebody did say she shot herself in the foot. She added no value to him. She was too tired to help cook, but had the energy to walk around. Didn't help wash up, but had energy to play pool. Somebody said exactly, I can't be on her side in this. She's wrong as fuck. And then confused on why she was mad or why he was mad. And to add, she didn't feel good, but had no problem getting wine by dinner. She's full of it. What do you feel about that whole thing?
Woo. Well, I will agree with Brandon that when Keke said this is wine, it was, and I don't think Keke was trying to do this purpose. I really don't. But to the outsider looking, it could look as you're playing in my face, or to use a term that the young people say, you're playing on my top. That, you know, Brandon said, alcohol is still alcohol, right? So if you don't care about yourself, I'm not going to care about you. And then, you know, Ty, I don't feel like he has father tendencies. He has more homeboy tendencies, and y'all will understand why I say that, because Ty had a frequency of being a father for a minute, but was still of a homeboy energy. You know, Brandon is saying that because he cares about you. And
yeah,
he's done because you're not wanting to be done. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I mean, I feel like that's a very humanistic point that happens in a lot of relationships. Like, until you care about yourself, I'm not going to care, right? I do think Keke, you know, powdered herself in the foot by saying this is wine, because if you said that you wasn't going to drink nothing else for the day and you do that, then you lied. I mean, me and Gigi are great creators And in the words of our fairy godmother from the Black Cinderella movie, with our beautiful Black Cinderella Brandy, Whitney Houston would say, impossible things are happening every day. We can be great fairy godfathers and mothers here and make anything happen, to give a great review and give soul. But you also got to give us something to put our magic on to. And we're room for Keke. We really are. But you can't say that this is wine and you're still drinking alcohol.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's like it still goes back to the question of, okay, well, do you have a problem or do you not have a problem? Because you said that you wasn't going to drink for the day, but then you drink wine, and when he brings it up, you're saying is, oh, it's just wine. Still alcohol. Still, going to have the same effect. So, yeah, it kind of shoots her in the foot when it comes to what it is.
Yeah. And Alicia said that Keke is her girl, and Tatiana is also Keke's girl. So she has friends in the house. I think that in the space that they're in right now, Gigi, I think they are frustrated with Keke because they want Keke to win. They're not frustrated with Keke because she's not a likable person, if that makes sense. Because I really don't feel like no one really hates Keke in that house. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody hates Keke. I think Keke definitely has people who are rooting for her and looking out for her, but she's got to also want it herself because, the self-sabotaging that she's doing is risking her relationship.
Yes.
And it's the question of, did you really want this relationship in the first place? Because, like we said, she's holding on to secrets too. 4 years of dating someone online and you still got these secrets that you're holding on to. It's like, are you really dating, or are you just, talking to someone to pass time? There's a difference. So, I don't know. I root for Keke, but what she's doing has got me questioning things.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we get to Ty and Brittany. And by the way, I like that they are doing this, Gigi, because they didn't really do this the first season, where every time that, they're on the screen, they bring up this, or in the first episode, they would bring up, right here, the lower third. By the way, that's a TV term. So if you see like lower third GG9 for, NBC 10 San Diego, I'm just making up a station. I don't know if that's a station, but just saying. But when you see this lower third here, it's usually a graphic that is made in the control room at that news station. But yeah, I like that this season they're reinforcing who these couples are. What do you think about that? Because that is a new element this season.
Yeah, that's definitely a good aspect to it. And like we said, we can see that when it comes to this show, production's definitely, in the production term, not sparing any expense. They're definitely going for it. They're putting money and time into the direction they're wanting the show to go. And it actually makes it where it's more, watchable.
Yes.
So it's refreshing in a way to see something new and different.
Yeah, for sure. So Ty and Brittany, they have the massage, and Brittany, wants Ty to be that alpha male, so that way Brittany can be submissive and feminine. I wanted to ask you, Gigi, on this point, beautiful, on what did you think about that? Because there's this soft girl era going on right now. I don't know if it's going for males with a soft male era. It's probably more of a mental reset more for men than a soft man era. But what did you think about that? Because I honestly think that before you are submissive to someone else, you should be submissive to yourself to accept and deny what's good and not good for you. And that whether you are a male and you have masculine energy or feminine, or you're a woman with feminine energy or individual with whatever energy you want to carry yourself with, that you should not have a person complete you. Because if a person completes you, then you also erase yourself. What did you think about that?
That's definitely a good way to look at it. But, as a woman, definitely in a relationship, you want to be able to have your partner be able to lead you, especially in certain circumstances. And, being a woman and being, a single mom or, chasing your career, and you just, you really, I guess, lose that time, or you're in a constant situation of having to be dominant, you definitely do want to come home and shed that. So her saying that, hey, this is what I want, which actually we've seen that in season 1, where a lot of the women are like, hey, and even in Ready to Love, women are definitely looking to be more submissive. That era where, especially back in like slavery times, and even after that, after civil rights, like still the broken black home where the woman was the head of the household because the man was in jail or out finding work and, barely working, so couldn't survive. So the woman had to take control. So that going on for so many years and being dominant, there's a reversal that's happening to where women are like, hey, I don't want to live like that anymore. No, I want to be, with someone who not even just someone who can dominate, but somebody who is able to control your feelings in a positive way where it helps you excel, not one that's meant to keep you down and keep you in a way captive,
No, absolutely.
But, for her to absolutely have that feeling, that's good for her to be able to open up and say, hey, this is what I want.
No, absolutely. And I appreciate you giving that context. I knew what you meant in terms of dominate, in terms of being able to be a to be a anchor, and to be a purposeful conduit, and to have a cavalry energy, but also being a general, sometimes, and being still to listen. The one thing that you guys will get to know, to all the new people on me and Gigi's channel, and you guys will hear this while it is my channel. I say it's our channel because without y'all, there is no me. Without me, there is no y'all. Because I told Gigi that we made it to 3,000 subscribers. So when I say it's our channel, this is also Gigi's channel as well. And there are times when we're doing these, after shows, and these reviews where we're able to be funnerish, right? That's fun and serious in one word. Where, for example, Gigi just said dominant. Now, of course, I could have took that engine made it a mile, but I sincerely wanted to explore that, because that other side of, if you need a person to complete you, then who were you to begin with? And on the flip side of that, what Gigi so articulately stated is that you want to have that energy from your partner, because the more secure you feel, the more free you can be. So, with that being said, we get to the massage, and Ty is talking about how Brittany doesn't really make any room for him in terms of intimacy. And it's like, you see what she do to me? She never lets me touch her like this. And Brittany says that Ty never has a serious moment, and there's no romance with that. So what do you feel about that? Because like I said, whenever we do these after shows, when it's myself, Gigi, Nar, May, Q, and Dr. talking with Salon, Dr. Ucha, we play off of each other so well that we both know how far we can be serious and how far we can have fun, right? And we are able to, bounce between the two multiverses and still give it the soul that we do so fucking well. But what did you think about that from what Brittany said about how Ty never really is able to carry himself from in a serious fashion, and that she doesn't feel romance because there's not insecurity in being an adult with Brittany in their time together. They do have time together.
Well, that sounds very familiar, actually. I forget which couple it was, but that was the same issue, is that the person wasn't, serious, or they felt like they didn't turn on their serious side. But we have to think that could be a person's personality. Why do we want to change people into what we want? If you can't accept a person, maybe that's just the way that he handles things. He's not a crier. He's not the type, to want to always be down and frown. Yes, things are serious, but not everything has to be taken so seriously. Laughing is a great way to communicate. You communicate better when you're happy. You communicate better when you actually have a happier spirit,
Right.
So I understand wanting someone who's serious, but you have to understand not what's serious to you might not be serious to someone else. You may think the house is on fire because someone lit a match. No, someone just lit a match. It's not that serious. But you're over here freaking out because you feel like the house is on fire. No, it's different.
Right.
So yeah.
I think that couple, if I'm not mistaken, was the bodacious woman with the long ponytail from Ray and Love Make a Move. See, this is also another thing that y'all will find out about me. I love my thick women very deeply, and I don't play about that. I'm the cavalry for that. Gigi will attest to that. But no, it was a couple. It was that couple from that season because and they were in New Orleans, by the way, y'all. If you go back and watch our review of that season, you'll find out the couple. But it was her and a guy that she didn't really know, but she wanted to know. And it was a point in time where he didn't call her back. You know the couple I'm talking about, right, Gigi?
I think so. I'm trying to. Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I think it was that couple that, they had that same situation of being fun and serious and everything in between. So with that being said, we got to Tatiana and Keke, and that, Tatiana felt that Keke, feelings are valid. And I said this earlier, but we'll repeat it now, that, Keke went to the bottle after her mom passed. And that's a pain that you never get over, right? And you only do what you know, so you don't have to feel the pain. Like I said, I think people are rooting for Keke. It's just Keke has to give them something to root for. So as long as Keke does that, she's not going to have one person not liking her. Not one. It's hard not to like Keke. It's one of those things of, if you got a problem with Keke, that's a you problem. Because she doesn't give that energy. And then, child, we get to this damn. We get to this damn football throw. Oh, here's the picture here. Just to give y'all context in case y'all did not see the episode. Here is Keke and Tatiana talking there. And then, child, we get to this football match out here. This is the Never Ever Mets Bowl out here. And child, the flags on the play that happened with this game. Gigi, if this is the section where the comment comes in, please sign, seal, and deliver that motherfucker, because this right here.
Listen, this is definitely the part, and I know everybody has been waiting for this. But first, listen, we're gonna talk about it because, as I stated, when he did the whole dinner, or the game at dinner with if you would leave with your partner right now, say yes or no.
Yes.
As you're sitting here tossing this football around and you let it out that says, it was me. What did he say? Was it the fuck no was him or the hell no?
Yeah, he said the fuck no was him.
Okay, even worse. Fuck no.
Yep.
So, and you say 6 kids? Hell no. Like, no, I can't do it. You already said that in the very beginning. When she brought it up and not only told you that she had a newborn, but she had 2 other kids that equaled, she had 4 kids. You got 2 kids and you said it was a problem. Then we knew it was a problem.
Yep.
It was an absolute problem. And you even brought it up again.
Right. And then you had Chris, who agreed with Brandon before Jared said it. So then when Jared said it, it was like, what the fuck? I mean, I agree with you because right is right, wrong is wrong, but bro, that's your girl. So back to you, Gigi. I'm sorry, I did not mean to.
No, it's okay. And I'm so glad that you have this picture up because this goes great with this comment, okay? So here's the comment, y'all.
Okay.
So Gone with the Wig, not win, wig.
Not Gone with the Wig.
Yeah. Gone with the Wig says Jamie Foxx, Devil Man, is down low. I'm sure of it.
Good Lord Jesus. I am ashamed, beside myself, and disgusted with Gone with the Wig's fame.
And looking at this picture, why does he look like Jamie Foxx? I'm so mad.
And then Eddie Murphy gets a shout out on rather because of Daddy Daycare, which, by the way, one of the greatest movies of all time that Eddie Murphy's ever done for me. I have to say, it's a movie that is still just as good if you pop it in your DVD player or bring it up and you stream it. It's just that good. But he was like, Daddy Daycare, Charlie, Eddie Murphy, what the hell? And then we learned that 4 out of the 7 men said no, and that Irvin could have said no. But also, too, context is everything. 6 kids versus somebody pushing you away are 2 completely different situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gigi? Because I'm just like,
oh yeah, they're absolutely different. But when you know that this woman has told you that she's got this many kids and you still sitting there talking about how, because I think it was Cinco was saying, hey, something about how he cracked her or whatever, and he's like, no, I didn't do that. First off, for you to say that or for that to be a thing, yeah, that's nasty. And the guru says, let's read this comment. I've been waiting 4 years to crack Charlie. Men are gross, which that's basically what he said. He'd been waiting 4 years to do it. And to lie about what he wrote on the paper was disgusting. The both of them deserve each other because what is this? She literally just had a baby. Men really don't give a fuck. He don't even like her like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then y'all, listen. Now, this is just the 2nd season, right?
Yeah.
And this was just episode 3, correct, Gigi?
Yeah, episode 3.
Now, I know what the live audience, our virtual live audience is thinking. The people in the bushes, the replay gang, gonna be like, Bray, why are you asking questions where you already know the answers to? For this reason, because this did not happen. See, a lot of this shit did not happen season 1, but this particular thing that I'm about to say out of my ever-loving mouth did not happen season 1. After this exchange happens with the fellas, Jared goes into the kitchen, and Charli comes up and says, or asks, Jared, did you say yes? And Jared says, of course I said yes. And Chris's face was like, motherfucker, I know your ass is lying. I mean, Chris was really?
Yes, very surprised that
no oxygen to feel anything, to breathe. Like, what? And the thing was, Jared kept going with it. When Charli said that, it was the first time that I couldn't, really, determine or, know what you thought. And then, not to mention on top of that, Jared said, what did you say, Charli? I said, yes. And then he said, oh, so we good.
Yes, that's what made it even more ick, is because right before that, you're outside throwing a ball with the guys and you're telling them how you said fuck no on the paper. You don't want to be with her 4 kids. You're just really waiting to have sex with her. That's all you really want. And he even said, 4.5 years? Nah, I got to keep playing the gentleman if I want to get what I want, which was very, very disgusting. Yeah. So, and then to turn around and be with Charli, and it's like, oh yeah, what'd you say? Oh yeah, no, we're gonna be together. Yeah, yeah. But then as soon as it's over, it's over. Destiny Peach said there is no cracking Charli. That V-ho is wide open. 4 kids, wide. Girl, if you know everything he's thinking, why not, Jared just wants some loose booty. Bye. I did not say that. Destiny Peach said that.
Oh my Lord Jesus. Hopefully that wasn't Destiny paying, because she's a known liar. I'm sorry, y'all. Slip of the tongue. Moving on. So in the preview.
If that was Destiny Payton, girl,
just moving on. In the preview. In the preview, Clay and Tatiana are talking. And it's not looking good for Clay. Now, Gigi, I think we said this last week, beautiful, right? Of how horrible would it be if this is the first time that the couples are seeing this, right? Now, I think Aaron H. and Diamond said that they saw the episodes beforehand, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be off on that. But we said, imagine if Tatiana found out with the rest of us that this could have been, that this was the first time that Clay revealed to the world that he had been before telling Tatiana. I think we said that last week, right?
Yeah. And I mean, well, we'll see if he tells her, in the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, because it looks like that conversation happens in the preview shot.
Yeah, something happens. He's gonna have to come to terms with some type of truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that
and then tie him. Oh, did you want to read another comment, or did you have something?
Let me see. I am sick. Okay, here we go. Destiny. Oh gosh. So Cinco's cool. Jared, aka Jamie Foxx, Cinco, aka August Alsina, Irvin, aka T-Pain, Brandon, Young Mike from the Wood, and Q from 112 Son. Why? Ty, someone's aunt that like to cook with socks on. I'm sick.
Wait, aunts that like to cook with socks on?
Yeah, they said Ty is somebody's aunt that likes to cook with socks on.
Oh, Unc. Okay.
Yeah. Chris.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. She said Chris, aka Payless with them cheap shoes on.
Oh, no.
And Courvoisier, also known as Courvoisier. So Courvoisier is just Courvoisier. I'm sick. Destiny, I'm not reading no more. If I see any more, I'm just gonna keep going.
And listen, we haven't even got to the poll yet. So one of the things that we did the first season that I think really made our review a signature review. Not saying that any other review is not good, y'all, okay? But every week there is a poll related to the week. So we're going to get to that here in like under 2.5 seconds. But then we see in the preview, we see Ty and Brittany. They have a conversation, and Gigi, you can let me know. It kind of went quick, but Brittany said something about when that's all women do, or this, that, and the third. Did you get that? Because it went by very quick.
When she was talking about Ty, or when her and Ty were going back and forth.
Yeah. It was something about womanhood or something to that degree. At least I thought.
Oh, so I remember him saying something about how he can't do anything right, and she said something vaguely, I forget, but then she also said that she wasn't going to be with no disrespectful man.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that part, but the rest I didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember.
And then Charli and Jared, they're in the intimacy suite, and they gotta kick the cameras out. Child.
I wonder how much longer he's going to be nice to her after he cracks her in his own words. Because he, like he said, in his own words, he's playing the part until he does. Is he going to change afterwards?
And with that being said, y'all, that is the Never Ever Mets Season 2, Episode 3 after show. Now, I did say we have a poll question, a weekly poll question every week. So here is this week's poll question. Are Brandon's concerns about Keke's drinking valid? Now, before we vote, me and Gigi were both flabbergasted last week with the results of America. For, I think, a couple of them, right, Gigi?
Yeah, I don't even know what to expect anymore. Especially, I mean, the first season was just like, people just picking any damn thing.
Right, because it's the first season, so,
Yeah.
Don't
but this,
on with a win, But
on with the wig, yeah.
Lord, I'm not about playing piano with you, the words of Melody Shree. But these polls here have been quite interesting. The one poll that I think shocked us, the two polls that shocked us the most was, would you stay with somebody if they had a baby while you were dating? And yes, was it even an option? And then would you virtually date somebody? And y'all, no cap, it was 50-50 on both sides.
Yeah.
So with these polls, we really don't know. Go ahead, Gigi. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say yeah. So we really don't even know what to expect, what it's gonna be, because yeah, things that you think people would agree on, no, they're divided.
Yeah. So to the question at hand for week 3 of the Never Ever Mets, are Brandon's concerns about Keke drinking valid? I would say I think they're valid. Just the way that he's going about it is a little 20 on 10. I think either you, Gigi, or a comment that you read said that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. He could have a valid point. It's just the way that he went about addressing it that turned it into almost like a help and like helpful criticism to just kind of embarrassment or I don't know, just you could tell it embarrassed her. So there definitely could have been a different way that he did that.
Right.
But no, I don't think he's wrong. I think he's valid on thinking that she might have a problem.
Okay. Let's see what America says now. Like we said, me and Gigi have both been shot by America. So we don't know what the results are going to be. We don't look at these polls and vote on these polls before showtime, because we want to give y'all the fullest experience of this show. So here we go. Okay. 25% said no, Gigi and everybody, and 75% of people said yes. So there is a small minority that disagrees with Brandon, but there is a majority that agrees with Brandon.
Yeah, because I mean, certain things you can say, yeah, there's definitely possibly an issue with, but like we said, it's the way you go about it.
Yeah. Child. Ooh. Gigi, I don't know if we have the faculties of our souls to continue on with this season, because I'm just like, this is the third episode, and something in just a wrecking. It just seems like it's been a wrecking ball of it's been a wrecking ball of a curveball every episode. Like it's just been nonstop. Like the first episode was a newborn and a 6-month-old. Then the preview was a newborn from somebody else, and then them lying about conversation, not telling them. And then at the end of this one, it's lying about if you want to stay with your partner. I'm just like, what the hell? And
yeah,
like
all
said,
of this is just
like,
crazy.
my Lord.
This whole season is about secrets. This is a season of secrets. Like Harry Potter, instead of Chamber of Secrets, this is the season of secrets.
That
because there are it seems like everybody's hiding something.
Yeah.
And it's not even like little stuff they're hiding. Like it's either, oh, well, yeah, we've been dating 4 years, but I got a baby on you. Or I had 2 of them. I'm really engaged. I'm still living with my ex. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are serious things that could actually cause a relationship to, to fail. But yeah, this season is definitely crazy, and we're just gonna have to see what happens. But honestly, I don't know if anybody's gonna stay with anybody at the end of this.
No.
Right now, I'm seeing this as a clean house. They finna clear out. Ain't nobody going with nobody.
No.
Not even Chris and Alexis. I don't see them even working out. But
eventually social media and the show will clash, as it often does, because that first season with Josh and Shay and Aaron H and Diamond Child, it seemed like it would have never ended. And it was bad.
Well, yeah, normally, with Ready to Love, normally around episode 4 or 5, that's when social media starts blowing up and you start getting news about stuff that we didn't even know yet.
Right.
So just stay tuned. That's all you can do is stay tuned.
Yeah.
So is that the only poll they have for this episode?
Let me see. I think so, because we did week 1. Yep, those are all the polls.
Okay.
Brought up.
Okay.
Child.
Yeah, well, this was definitely a good episode, and next week we'll be back on at the same time on Friday, hopefully with the full crew.
Yes. Yeah,
but,
and like I said, y'all, I'm done with Kenya Moore. She said her confessional. She said she's gonna come back next week. We got more destinations to go to. Life is bigger than Kenya Moore. Okay, so listen, I did my assignment for the culture. and we're moving on.
Right? Yeah. After she said she was going to go live and address the whole accusations and everything, and she didn't twice, yeah, the third time definitely she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, so like y'all, that's literally it. Saturday she uploaded it. I'm done. Y'all can go watch other content creators. And listen, if something does, and Gigi knows this about me, I always honor my audience. So if there is something significant, it won't be a full, single tour. It will be a destination stop on the tour. So I will always cover you. But sincerely, we're moving.
All right. Well, that seems to be it for this review.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get dinner and stuff ready,
You're good, my friend.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you are back here with us every Saturday when we do the review for the Never Ever Mets. So we will see you next Saturday.
Yes, indeed.
Same time. Bye.
Love you, Gigi. Talk soon, beautiful.
All right.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed the Never Ever Met Season 2, Episode 3 after show. This show is definitely a lightning rod for dating and relationships. I mean, Owen has really knocked out the park with this show. I mean, to bring virtual reality and reality together in one show is magnifique. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is this show is doing what it's supposed to do in terms of being a mirror for self-reflection. So always do a daily motivator. I think the biggest thing that I can say is don't let your vice be your don't let your vice determine your rise or demise. The first thing I'll tell you about that is you have to recognize where it's coming from, the vice. Once you recognize where the vice is coming from, then you have to understand how important that vice is to you. And then the third thing is you have to make room mentally to understand how the impact, how weighty has the impact been on you and your family and friends. And if the weight has suffocated you and your family and friends, then maybe it's time to let that weight go. But if that weight has been heavy to hold you and your friends and family accountable, then move forward at that. So with that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say one more special, because you were always born a blessing. And trust, you may not be where you want to be, by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be, do what you've been chosen to do. Wise one thing to call yourself, nothing be chosen. One love, much love, all love. We have spent time with you, you have spent time with us, and hopefully by spending time together, we're also great together. Now, always remember we're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or, hey, listen, being honest with your partner is better than lying to your partner. Make sure the replay is not just if you watch it, not just listen to it, but if you want to experience it again. We love you, we value, we embrace you all. Always remember, receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it. Wherever obstacles you have overcome, where success you have achieved upon this particular day, we are extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. And finally, y'all just recognize that just because you never ever meet your person in real life doesn't mean you're not responsible for what you give. Commercial give to that person, right? Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's coming, for the blessings that are on the way for me, all of us as a society, as a people, as a culture. We feel the love and we send it right back to you. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
All day. Yeah, we're working, let me play. You know me, work real hard, now we're ready, let's play. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go, yeah. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's
Welcome to Universal's Volcano Bay. A new wave of theme park. A new kind of paradise. Here, time doesn't fly. It simply floats by. And when it's your time to ride, you go right to the slide. Yep, paradise works in amazing ways. You're welcome. Volcano Bay. One of 3 amazing theme parks at Universal Orlando Resort.
Power 923 Jams and the Arkansas Minority Health Commission encourages you to take the COVID-19 vaccine to help keep you and your loved ones safe. Involved in our community, the People Station, Power 923 Jams. KIPR Pine Bluff, Little Rock, KFOG, Little Rock, a Cumulus Media Station. And now, back to the jams. Hip-hop. Drake.
Girls want girls where I'm from. Yeah, well, girls want girls where I'm from.
R&B.
J. Howell. Just 'cause I love you and you love me.
And now, bumping back-to-back continuous music with another fresh new jam. Heard here first on the People Station, Power 923 Jams. Power.
How's the gas?
I feel great. I love you, and I love you. And to show my love, guess what? On Tuesday, November 16th, I'm gonna give everybody everywhere free tacos.
You sure you want to do that?
Absolutely. You have good hair.
Get 2 of Jack's delicious classic tacos absolutely free when you come into Jack in the Box Tuesday, November 16th.
Ooh, that's a big tooth.
Get 2 free tacos Tuesday, November 16th at Jack in the Box.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you, and you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now, they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.